If faith has ever felt heavy, loud, or exhausting, let this be the place where it becomes gentle again. Hello. Welcome to Rise and Shine Faith Talks. I'm your host, Abiyo. I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for choosing to sit with me for a few moments today. Wherever you're listening from, however you're arriving, I'm grateful you're here. Today's video is a little different from my usual content because I want to take a moment to share where this channel has been and where it's gently moving next. This isn't an ending, it's a transition, a new season. And I want to invite you into that with honesty and clarity. When I first started the What is Real series, I was in a season of deep reflection and analysis. I was learning how to step back and see the full picture of my life, almost like stepping back from a painting. Some parts of that painting felt damaged and in need of care. Some parts were missing altogether. And some parts were crowded with expectation, performance, and exhaustion. I wanted to understand what was real, what should stay, what should go, what actually mattered. That series was imperfect because it reflected my real prayer life with God as I was trying to understand it all. I wasn't preaching doctrine or telling anyone how to interpret the Bible. These were simply my reflections, my wrestling, my reading, my listening, and what brought me to clarity. So if you go back and listen, the first videos compared to now, you will definitely hear a shift in my speech. There has been a settling in my spirit, a grounding, a clarity. And that tells me something important has changed internally for me. I also want to talk about the imagery. The imagery I've used throughout the What is Real series. Let's start with the faceless image. That image was never meant to feel scary or sad. It represented a person we can all place ourselves into. An empty vessel. A soul awakening. A self still forming. A life in the process of becoming. And standing in front of the figure is fire. This fire is not meant to be frightening. It is a warm embrace. It represents God's warmth, loving hands, and a fire that warms and consumes without destroying. Picture Moses. Curious, drawn to the beauty of the burning bush. as he approached, the fire moved within it, alive, gentle. The bush did not burn to dust. And when Moses drew near, the warmth, it was loving. That is the fiery figure, shaping the image we put all of us can put ourselves into. The hooded figure represents us all standing before God as he lovingly shapes us, every feature, into the person we are meant to be. Gently, lovingly, with intentions for good and not for evil. And look at the ground. The mask laying there in the flowers, cracked. Because the masks we wore to survive weren't built to last forever. When the mask comes off, sometimes we won't recognize ourselves because we've hidden for so long. But even then, God sees us. He is not afraid of who we are. He is not repulsed by our unshaped features, our features that are becoming. So while we take a break from this uncovering season, I want us to reflect on the lessons we've learned. Even while God is still shaping us, even while he's still shaping what's behind the mask, we get to be secure in knowing we don't need it. And I want to remind you, you are enough. Exactly the way you are. God sees you and he loves you. Not for who you could be, but for who you are right now. For this season, we're going to gently put down the magnifying glass. We're going to stop dissecting for a moment. Meaning making never truly stops. But sometimes our minds and hearts need rest from making meaning. Sometimes the mask gets to be hung up. Sometimes the nervous system gets to soften. This is a season of resting in God's stability and love. Not striving, not proving, not performing. So this next season, I also want to invite every one of you to step out of our heads and back into our bodies, to breathe a little deeper, to soften our shoulders, to notice where we're holding tension and gently let it go. So often we try to understand God only with our thoughts, but there is something sacred about feeling his presence about letting our bodies experience safety, beauty, and peace as we learn more about Him. Because of this shift, I'm feeling deeply drawn to begin a new series, rooted in storytelling and rest, called His Hands. In the upcoming series, we're going to walk through the life of Jesus, gently, imaginatively, peacefully. We're going to focus on His hands, the hands that healed, the hands that held children, the hands that served, and the hands that offered a softness the world often forgets. We'll explore His humanity. We'll explore His birth, His childhood, His friendships, His tenderness, His humility, His obedience, His love. Not in a heavy or dramatic way, but in a way that gently invites the listener to love Him, to understand Him, and to rest in His presence. I want to share the one who has brought this softness into my life. And I want to thank God for the clarity He brought through the What is Real series, for how He gently took me out of living for other people and taught me how to live for Him. And truly, I want to thank each and every one of you. Yes, you. Some of you have been here since the beginning, when I didn't even have a microphone, when the sound echoed or the music was distorted. Still, you stayed. You came for the message anyway. That means more to me than you know. So every time I see a comment, an engagement, a message, my heart is overjoyed. My purpose in life has always been to help others through the way I see and experience the world. And here, I get to do that while staying at rest. No striving, no overstepping, no pressure. I want this to be a community where you feel safe. A place where you can share your thoughts, your questions, and your testimony. You never know how your story might help someone else. I read every comment. I reply to every comment because you matter to me, and I'm grateful you're here. So as we step into this new season of His Hands together, I pray that you find rest here, that you feel safe, that you feel held, that you feel gently renewed. Thank you for walking with me. Thank you for trusting this space. And thank you for being part of this journey. As you step back into your day, I hope that your day is blessed, that your week is overflowing with God's love, His presence, and that you remember you are enough. I will see you in the next series. Amen.